my lovely friends, it's Margaret, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite series of all time. Welcome to day 5 of the 12 Days of Margaret. It's just a little series I started on my birthday that I'm using as a get-to-know-me / end-of-the-year wrap-up. So anyways, these are my favorite books. These 3 shelves are my favorite series of all time. They're just the things that I love the most. Some series I like more than others. Just basically, if an author makes it to my favorites shelf, all of their books go on the favorite shelf. Hence, the entire Rick Riordan shelf that I have right there. I just want to go over quickly some of these series and why I love them as much as I love them. We are going to start this video out with the Gallagher Girls series by Ali Carter. Ali Carter is someone I discovered early in my college career, like right as I was graduating high school, and I have absolutely adored all of her books. She does such a great job writing female protagonists and writing friend groups. And I love this one because it follows Cami from her sophomore year until her senior year, and you really get to see her grow and change, and also she's a spy. So there's that. I love the relationship that Cami develops with her friends. I love their little romance that happens in this series. It is just, I love it so much. You will see Ali Carter again on this list. Another series that I discovered around the same time is the Study series by Maria V. Snyder. I love this series. I love the magic system that she has come up with in this series. I love Yelena as a main protagonist. I love the fact that she ends up being trained as a food tester. Like, that's not something you see a lot in fantasy. Usually she's the one doing the poisoning, not the one trying to avoid the poisoning. And I love the journey that she goes through these 3 books. The fact that she just kind of discovers more about herself in every book and comes to accept that and comes to use that as her strength. It's just such a fun series to read. Also, the romance is, again, great. The next series I want to talk about is Scott Westerfeld's Leviathan series. This is kind of a retelling of World War I. It's steampunk. It's got people who didn't exist in real history. It's great. It follows a prince and a girl who has disguised herself as a boy so she can be in the Air Force. And I just love both of those elements. I love the fact that they are actually on opposite sides of a war, but not really. I also love the fact that there are illustrations in it. Like, that just makes me a very happy person. There's just something about the illustrations that makes my soul so happy. So I'm so, like, I just love this series so much, and I need to reread it. So no favorites series video would be complete without the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black, The Crow Prince, The Wicked King, and Queen of Nothing. This, the arc that the main character takes over this series, I absolutely adore. I love where we see her go. I love the fact that she is just such a disaster at the beginning of the series, and she's slightly less of a disaster at the end of the series, but I love what she has learned about herself and what she has overcome in order to get to the place that she is in this book. Guys. Also, this is one of my favorite, like, rivals / enemies to lovers romances. I love the world that Holly Black makes. I love how her take on the Fae. I love how she explores fairy lore and fairy courts. I love the fact that there's a lot of political intrigue that goes into this, and I love the fact that Jude knows what she's doing at the beginning of the series. Like, usually you have a protagonist that's like, oh, the fairy world, I'm having to learn all of these rules, but Jude knows all of the rules at the beginning, and she knows that that's not enough to keep her safe, which is why her entire journey starts. And I like that. I like the fact that she's not this damsel in distress. She's actually like, I know what I need to do to get to where I want to be, and so that's what she's trying to do. The next series I want to talk about is the Heist Society series by Ali Carter. This is another one where she just really hits the mark with friend groups. She hits the mark with family drama. I love Kat Bishop as a main character. I love Hale, whose first name we don't know still, because Scholastic didn't let her finish the series, I'm assuming. I wish we could have had like 3 more books in this series like we did with the Gallagher Girls series. The characters in this are so much fun. There is so much, like, great witty banter. They're a riot to read. And also, it's basically like Batman and Catwoman as teenagers without costumes, and I really appreciate that. Speaking of heist stories, I have to talk about Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This world blew me away. I love Ketterdam. I love the kind of political scheming nature of this city that Leigh Bardugo has created. I love the characters, and it has one of my favorite romances of all time. Like, how do you get better than what is in this book? Like, you can't. I mean, you can, but you can't at the same time. It is gorgeous and wonderful and so, like, I love watching 2 people have to learn how to be vulnerable and having to overcome, like, their insecurities, and this delivers. Also, I'm a sucker for, like, characters bonding through their trauma or over trauma that has occurred to them, and this has that. love this series. I love how fleshed out Leigh Bardugo's characters are. I felt like a lot of the characters in this, like, you meet them and you know who they are. You know, like, you don't necessarily know what they're gonna, like, how they sleep, but you know things that they're going to do, like their actions make sense. It just, she does such a good job with this series. So breaking up the fantasy trend, I want to talk about the Sandhya Mynan books. Like, technically, this is not part of the series, but it's packaged the same as the series, and I absolutely adore Sandhya Mynan. She is such a good writer. She does such a great job with family dynamics. She does such a great job with friendship groups. My goodness, can she do a friendship group? I love how she shows that certain things are just universal to the human experience, and she also shows that certain things are cultural. Certain things are things that you are not going to have to deal with. One of my favorite things about this series is that she is not shy about her heritage and including it in her novel. I feel like you can kind of understand what's going on by osmosis for the things that you might not know about Indian culture. There is so much Hindi in this book, and she doesn't apologize for it. She doesn't translate. She still manages to get the point across. She still manages to kind of have you understand what the parent is saying, but she doesn't hold your hand and translate it for you. And I love that fact that she is unapologetic about it, because how many books have you seen that have Spanish or French in them and those aren't translated? And she does the same thing with these books. She also writes such fun romances. Like, I love the romances that she has written. They pull at your heartstrings. They are so relatable and they're cute as can be. So the next series that I want to talk to you guys about is the Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. Lila Bard could kill me and I would thank her. Like, it's what she deserves. She has been through it, and I love her so much. This is another one where you start out with a character who's very closed off at the beginning of the series, and they have to kind of learn to trust people, and I love those stories. I really do love those stories. I also love Kel, because Kel is a cinnamon roll and wonderful, and he has a gorgeous coat. Only people who've read the series are gonna get that. I love the magic system that V.E. Schwab comes up with in this series. It's your kind of your basic run-of-the-mill elemental magic system, but she throws in a few things that I enjoyed it. I love the fact that it is set around these parallel Londons that only certain people can go between. I love some of the really fun twists and reveals that are in this series that I knew from this book. I knew. And I was so just gratified when we got to Conjuring of Light and it was for sure, like, confirmed, and one of my favorite moments. Also, can we just say that Conjuring of Light has one of the funniest moments I have ever read. Just one of the funniest moments. And I just will sit there and I will remember that this moment happened, and I will start laughing. If you have read this book, you know which moment it is. It's the one with Alucard and the ship. Yes. The final thing that I really loved about this series is that as we finished A Gathering of Shadows, which is the second book right here, this guy right there, I wasn't sure how Victoria Schwab was going to take this plot anywhere. I was like, how is she going to make an interesting book with where these characters end up? How is she going to make a book this thick with where these characters end up? How is she going to do that? And she did. She hit rock bottom with her characters, and she pulled out a shovel and started digging and made a fantastic book. Like, this has one of the best battle sequences I have. Like, I was actually able to follow it and see it in my head. I usually get lost when we're doing a lot of, like, long, drawn-out battle scenes, and this had me hooked. I was not bored for a minute. I didn't get lost. I was able to follow it the entire time, and I loved that. Such a good series. I have saved my two favorite series for last because I have to destroy an entire shelf. Okay, so my second favorite series, and this might surprise you considering what shirt I am wearing and the fact that I talk about it a lot more than I talk about my favorite series, but that is, oh my gosh, these are so heavy. The Percy Jackson series. Oh, I love this series. I am a sucker for retellings. I am a sucker for Greek mythology. I've been obsessed with it since I was like 8. And Rick Riordan does such a good job of reimagining the Greek myths in a way that is accessible to modern readers. He does things with the Greek myths that you would not expect. I love it. I love Percy Jackson with my whole heart. Annabeth Chase is one of my favorite characters of all time, and I'm so glad that I got her in this series. Favorite book in the series is probably this one, The Last Olympian. It's definitely The Last Olympian. But however, this is one of the best put together series I have ever read. Like, the way he starts things in this first book, the way he brings this plot around to when you get to The Last Olympian, which is this one right here, if you can't read. The way he brings things from The Lightning Thief to The Last Olympian, the way he does his plot, and he's still using things from the first, second, and third book when you get to book 5. Like, that is craft. He had to have had a plan going into this series, and I love how every time I read this series, I get something new out of it. I love how I notice new things. I love how much it teaches me about writing, and I love how he is able to do so many things with one sentence. Also, Perkabeth is life, and they are the OTP of my dreams. Like, they are definitely the OTP of the decade, because I love them. Okay, the final series that I have to talk to you guys about is the Heroes of Olympus series. These are so heavy, guys. Oh my gosh. I love this series with my entire soul. It is such a fantastic sequel series to the Percy Jackson books. And it also gives you an idea, like, it also involves Annabeth's point of view, which I've been waiting for my entire life, basically. Even though I've only known about these books for about 10 years. Look at them. Look at how gorgeous they are together. This just is the culmination of everything that Rick did in the Percy Jackson series. He has expanded on, he has added to, like, I love the characters that he creates for these series. I love the way he redoes the Greek mythology. Like, there is so much for him to pull from, and he does such a good job of pulling from it. I love it. Also, I love the characters that he introduces in this series. Like, he does such a good job of creating more romances that I love in this series. And I also love just the moments that happen in this series. They make me so happy. They really do. And I don't think I'm ever going to love a series as much as I love this series. Like, I don't know how you can come up with characters that top Percy Jackson and Annabeth Chase for me. I just don't think you can do that. And I love it. And it was a ride and an experience. And I don't think I will ever have that experience again. But I just don't have coherent thoughts. I just know I love this series. I can't tell you why I love this series more than I love, well, I can actually. There's a lot more Perkabeth in this series because they are just like a great badass power couple in this series instead of just being this wonderful slow burn friends to lovers kind of development that happens over 5 books. Really, really good development, like exactly how it should have developed. Anyways, I love these books. They're amazing. And now I'm going to put them down. Well, that was a workout. And my arms are going to be so sore tomorrow. Oh my goodness. But can we just, I love these books. I said it in my last favorites video, but I love books. They give me such joy. I love being able to live inside the minds of other characters, and I especially love being able to follow them from the beginning of a series to the end of the series. I love watching the growth that can take place over an entire series, just watching them start in one place and be in a different place, and it's just so satisfying when you have that nice, slow build of a character arc. So, thank you so much for watching. If you like watching me rant about my favorite books, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Lets me know I need to make more videos like this. If you are new here and you like videos about books and writing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!